Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to go through a process of creating multiple pages using our navigational links from the previous exercises. So the first step that I want to do is I just want to show you what we're going to create. So I'm just going to add in a logo and a home button so we can navigate home, and we can see that we're just going to add in the home element here. I'm going to change one of my links to about. And notice here that I'm going to make the about box slightly different. So I'm just going to show you some ways of creating this very simply without making too many modifications to our existing code base. So the first step we want to do is we want to create this logo home. That's probably the best place to start. So the first step we're going to do is let's take our wireframe off the screen. Let's just add in a logo. So again, it's a div tag with an ID called logo. And inside I'm just going to write the word home. Now we could put an image, we could put any other type of process in there. At this stage we just want to write the word home. And I also want to put a link on this text here. So it's going to be an href. Now, rather than going to an empty page, I actually want this one to return to my index page. So I'm going to write index.html in here. So now what's going to happen is when I click on, errors here. So when I click on my home button or my logo with the word home written there, it's actually going to return to my index page. Now, I actually want to get rid of this class active here because I don't want any of the pages to be active on my home page. I'll do that on some other pages. So let me just remove that. So the next step I want to do is I want to create my CSS. So I've got to go into my CSS file here. Now I don't need to add another default because it's just a div tag, so I've added a new logo, so it's a hashtag with logo. Let's give it a width of say 100 pixels, a height of say 100 pixels, and let's set the background color to be that pink color. So you'll notice that we've had a bit of a problem here. This is because of our floating alignment, so let's just float that back to the left, and that fixes up our various components here. Just remember to do that if something goes wrong, it's probably to do with floating alignment, etc. So I've just added that float left here. Again, in my logo, I also want to make sure that my text has got no decorations. So I'm just going to set my text decoration to none. Sorry, I need to put that on my A tag. So what I could do is, for the point of this exercise, no, I'll do it properly. So I'll create a hash logo, and in this case I want an A link. And I just want to set my text decoration to none. So now I've got rid of that text decoration there. And there's no hover overing effects or anything. I don't want any hover overing effects for this one. I just want to increase my, or let's say, text align center. Just to let my text go to the center, and let's just increase the font size a little bit. So the font size, I just want to make, say, 1.5 EMs. This makes it a little bit bigger. Let's increase that just a little bit more. There we go. And we can add a little bit of padding to the top. So 10 pixels. So you can see that it's also increased the size down here. Actually, what I will do is, rather than putting the padding on the top there, I can put it in my, actually I'll just put it in there. So padding top, because one would usually use an image here. Let's just say 30 pixels. Remove that from the height. That's 70. There we go. So it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. It's a link to home, and that's all it's going to do. So we've got our home link created here, and we've got our various components here. So the next step that I want to do is, as in the wireframe here, I've added some content into the index page where I've just created a heading 1 called home, for instance. So let's just put that content in. So inside of my content container now and my article container, let's first create an article. And then inside that article, let's add a heading 1 tag called home. So we've got to remember to add the article and the H1 to our defaults. So article and H1s have now been added to defaults, so we can see that all of the default information has gone there. The only problem that we've got now is that it looks a little bit funny around here, so we need to add our article in. We should add our H1 in as well. It's a new tag. So in our article, we want to set the background color to blue, that sort of lighty blue color that we used for our navigation, which was this one. Let's set our height to say 50 pixels. Let's make it a bit more. Let's make it 100 pixels. Okay, and then we need to add in our padding and margins into this one as well. So inside of our article container, we want to add some padding, 10 pixels. Now you can see all that has increased the size, so we need to be careful here, and we need to just take off some sizing in here, probably want a little bit more as well. And this is where you might want to start changing things up a little bit. Height, again, we need to think about the height sizes on here, so let's say 280, that should get us similar to what we had before. So we've got our home in there now. Now again, we want to have a little bit of padding inside of our home here. So inside of our H1, we removed the default padding before, so let's just add in a little bit of padding and say 10 might be a bit too much, but that will do for the time being. So we have a little bit of padding on our heading, and we've got our padding and everything, etc. inside of our design here. So the next step that we want to do is to create the separate page. So at this point in time, we've now created our home page, our index page, everything is done there. So the next step that we want to do is create this about page, but we don't want to have to go through and make too many changes to the CSS. So I'll show you a few little tricks using cascading rules that we can use to fix this up. So the first step we want to do is make sure we're on the right site, and we want to go into our source code, and let's go File, New, HTML, HTML5, let's just go File, Save As, and I'm just going to call this about.html. So we've now created a new about.html. Now I want to copy all the content from my index into my about. Save it, put it on live, and now it's the same as my page. Let's just make this 50% or 66%, so it's exactly the same process as what we had before. But we wanted that slightly different design. So in our design here, we wanted to get rid of that that extra aside and fix up the content to a different design. So let's do that now. So inside of my about, I want to add back in that link. So let's go about, and let's add that class equals active. So that adds back in that active class for the about page. And we can see that that's now active there, which is nice. We don't want it to say home anymore, we want it to say about. So we're adding new content in here. And we want to get rid of that aside because we don't want that in our about page. So that's all well and good, but notice that the styling is not exactly the way we wanted it. So in our design here, we want it to take up the entire page. So rather than going in and having to create a whole new CSS page and copying all the content across, what we're going to do is use cascading rules to actually write a new rule set for our about page in a separate CSS document. So we're going to go through that process now. So the first step that we want to do is that we want to create a new link. I'm going to call this about styles. I'm going to go File, New, CSS, File, Save As, and I'm going to call this about styles .css. So we've now got the about styles down here. Save that, and about styles. Sorry, I just paused the video a second. Basically, I just clicked out and came back in, and the about styles appeared. That's what I was trying to get to appear. So I apologise. Literally all I did was click out of the application, come back in, and the about styles appeared, and that's what I wanted. So now we want to come in, and this article container, which was now set to here, so we want to grab the article container, bring that over into the about styles, and now we're going to use cascading rules to modify this about container. So let's now bring that across, and we want to change the width now. So we'll make the width say 98% across. So now we've got that design aesthetic that we want. So what we've done here is we've overridden. Now I actually don't need any of these other rules because these all came in with the originals. So you can see none of those extra things have made any difference. So all I'm doing is I'm updating, I'm cascading a new rule set to modify this width. So rather than the width being 64%, which it is, say, in the index page here, I'm now actually making it about 98%, which obviously counteracts some of these other margins and paddings and various things. So I've now literally overridden, and you can see that in the source code here. So this style is applied after the other style. So I've overridden the styling for this particular page. Now, to preview all of this work, we can open up, say, in Chrome, and we could click on the home button. We can see that we're at the home page. Now I've noticed here I've forgotten to put that about link, so let's just quickly make that modification. So we come into the code here, we need to put that about link, and rather than linking to nothing, we now want to link to about.html. And again, we want to check on our about page, and again this has to go to about.html. So now that should be fine. So let's now preview that again in Chrome. Apologies. So if we go home, We've now got the About link there and various links. And if we click on the About link, now it's changed our design. We can see that it's now the active link. If we click on Home, now we can go home. So now we've got different designs using the same layout, but highlighting a different design process. So we can have different pages with a different design with making very simple modifications. And then if we look at our original wireframes, it gives us basically the design aesthetic that we were looking for in that particular case. So thank you very much.